Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Hopefully this works with the webcam going. Here is your lesson for today. Unfortunately, Mr. Webcam is not here. But your assignment for today will be to complete 10-mark lessons for Monday, use inequality statements to express real-world context, and Tuesday, rational numbers on number lines and coordinate planes. Make sure that you see that your first attempt and your second attempt both go right here, and whatever your second attempt is, let's say that you get a 70% on the first one and a 60% on the second one. If you average those two together, it would be a 65%, which is failing for the week, which means that these grades need to be as high as they possibly can. Whatever you get on your first attempt, go back and see which problems you got wrong, and as soon as you get to it, say for example you get questions 1, 2, and 3 right, but question 4 you got wrong. As soon as you see question 4, I would hit the hint button all 3 times. When you do that, it's going to give you 3 solid hints that you can then go back and try again. The first one you're going to do is Monday, and don't worry that this says Tuesday. We're going to do them both today. It says one submarine was at a depth of negative 2.57 feet, and another was at a depth of negative 2.549 feet. Which inequality can be used to compare the depths? The first choice says that they could be equal. Well, we know these two numbers are not the exact same, which means that it absolutely can't be that. So it's going to be greater than or less than. So we should draw a number line. Remember, your paper should look just like this. So I'm going to start with negative 2.57 feet. That's where my first submarine is at. And now I'm going to actually draw a line to the left, a line to the right. Here's the hardest part, thinking about what numbers to the left and what numbers to the right. We know that as we're moving on a number line. In the negative position, I go negative 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, which means that I should be moving towards negative 3, which means this number should be getting bigger, or at least the absolute value should. It's moving away from 0. So this dash point right there would be negative 2.58. That's in the opposite direction of this. So let's go this way now. So I got negative 2.5, not 7, but 6. It's moving towards 0. Negative 2.55, negative 2.54, negative 2.53. I actually don't need to go any further because this is right there. So now negative 2.54. Well, I got negative 2.5. I got negative 2.54, which means that negative 2.549 is somewhere in between. We're not going to spend too much time on exactly where it's at, but it's right here. Now, if I'm looking at a regular number line, 0, 1, 2, 3, and I'm comparing the numbers 1 and 3. 3 is further away from 0. It's further to the right, which means that I would write this as 3 is greater than 1. Or I could say that 1 is less than 3. Just like if I were to do the same thing right here. Now I have negative 3 and negative 1. Negative 1 is further to the right. So for this one I would say negative 1 is greater than negative 3. Or that negative 3 is less than negative 1. In this case, negative 2.549 is further to the right than negative 2.57. So I would say that negative 2.549 is greater than negative 2.57. Or negative 2.57 is less than negative 2.549. Now I look for the one that matches. Negative 2.57 is greater than negative 2.549. That is not correct, which means that negative 2.57 is less than, yes, negative 2.549. This is the correct answer. Your paper should look exactly like that. Take another 30 seconds. and moving on for Tuesdays, it's rational numbers on number lines in coordinate planes. Well, we just did them on the number lines. Let's do it on the coordinate plane here. E, F, G, and H. Well, I got E, F, G, and H. I just need to put the ordered pairs. Well, the hardest part here is I got to figure out how much each one of these little tick marks is. So I say to myself, well, from 0 to 2.4. Go from 0 to 2.4. How much is that little tick right there in the center? The way I'm going to think about this is like, let's just say it's 0 to 24. Well, halfway in between would be 12, which means that if I go from 0 to 2.4, then in between would be 1.2. That means that this little tick mark is 1.2. This one right here would be 3.6. I just add 2.4 plus 1.2, I get 3.6. So to find E, I'm going to go over 12, 24, 36. 3.6 is my first. And then I go up 12, 1.2. They're both positive because this x is positive, this y is positive. This x over here would be negative, this y over here would be negative. I got positive, positive, that has got to be positive. So now I look at f. I got negative, negative, so I know f is going to be negative. So I have to go left and right before I can go up and down, so I go left, 12, 1.2. Because I went left, I say negative. And I go down, what's right there? Negative 4.8. That was an easy one. G. G's right here. I got a positive and a negative, so I have to make sure that I'm putting the right signs for the right problems. The first thing I do is I'm going to go left and right first. If I go right, that's positive. So I go positive 2.4. If I go up, I'm going positive. If I go down, I'm going negative. So I go down 12, or 1.2. Negative 1.2. I went down, it's negative. Finally, we have H over here. Well, if I go right, I'm going to go positive. If I go left, I'm going to go negative. So I'm going negative. Right between 48 and 24 would be 36, or 3.6. So I go left, which is negative 3.6. And then I go up, which is positive, not negative. I go up 2.4. Those are all of my points. Again, make sure that you are doing your first attempt and you're not running through it. For you to get both of these to be at least an 80 or above should take you the majority of the class. If you finish early, you'll have a Khan Academy assignment that you can turn in for additional classwork grades. If you are behind in your classwork, today is a great day to bring up your classwork grade. And now I have a process, which means that you get to see my amazing face. I know.